well, I channeled before, but it's just come through a lot more strongly running webinars. And something comes in when I start speaking. There's an energy that comes through when I'm speaking, and then kind of probably maybe the same energy, but it feels different when I'm running the meditations. It gets stronger, the whole screen melts and just feels great. So now I don't give a name to these energies, and it's not just like a being or something like that. It feels like a conglomerate, and they're not really like people. They're just these higher energies or higher intelligences that come in. And I think that's one of the reasons people quite like it, is that there's an energy behind it, or they feel healed. People say, well, I feel like I'm getting better from the different things they have. And I think a lot of that is the unseen, what is going on behind the scene, as it were. You know, there are all of the dynamics, but I think there's this energy that comes through and helps with people. And there's a energy and spirituality behind holographic breathing. So I decided just to do a webinar on that, which is today. How it will go, I have got no idea. I kind of was, up until about an hour ago, I was thinking I have to teach people how to do that, but it kind of occurred to me that actually no, I need to do it for myself, and if people cotton on or it triggers something in other people, great. But I've never been to a group or anything to learn how to channel, so I don't actually know how to teach it to anyone else. I just, at the beginning of the webinars, and I do it for everybody, when we go into the meditation, I'd say, say hello to the earth, connect with the earth, connect with the higher self, connect with the beneficial energies, and use that as your resource. And that is kind of all I do before I set up these webinars. I just talk to those. Very clearly an energy comes through when I do talk to them, and there's a build up to these webinars, and I'm thinking, oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that, but always a few hours before the webinar this energy starts coming through. I think, oh great, I can just let that do it. It doesn't matter if I get it all wrong, there's this thing happening, and that seems to be the important bit. I seem to have thrown in a bit of a curved ball in that I had a previous newsletter where I was just talking about channeling and generally about channeling, and I felt to send another newsletter out on Saturday, and that morning I was just working with the energies, and it just, I became an angel. This kind of used to happen to me a lot, where I'd be walking along and I'd feel these wings on my back, and it's like a different paradigm. They say the angelic realm, it is a different realm, and it's not, I don't think it's what I normally channel. What I'm normally channeling, it is just this bright light that seems to come through, but maybe angels are part of that. And I think early on in my career I felt quite plagued by this in a way, because I didn't so much feel the higher energies, but I seemed to get visited by the much darker ones. It almost felt demonic in a way. I'd be doing a group and I'd be just doing some slow movement, and suddenly I was in this different realm, and they were quite dark, and they were like winged beings. And I think the winged beings are kind of lower angels. They're just part of the same thing. And I was very scared of them to start off with. But after a while, I realized that that darkness was actually reflecting something in me. And it wasn't actually bad. It was the food. It's the bottom of that kind of, all the different colours of the rainbow. It was the bottom, and to do with the sexual energy, really deep, strong energies. And you work with that for a while, and it will come up through the different things. And definitely when I started working with circles, to get like magic, I'm not doing magic, but just sitting in these different circles and sacred spaces, there'd always be this really deep, dark, winged beings would come out of the ground. I'm like, go away. But after a while, they come up as this strong earth energy, and then they beckon in the light, and then there's the whole array of energies. So, but anyway, that came up in the morning, and I kind of just write what is there. And then after I'd written that newsletter, I thought, oh, fuck. I wasn't intending teaching that at all. And the newsletter got halfway out, and I actually stopped it. I thought, oh, that's stupid. I just ruined the webinar. But then I thought, I noticed so many people were liking it and clicking the button. I thought, wow, I'll do it anyway. So I just added a bit in front of that, saying, we're still going to be working with just normal channeling. And I want to specifically work with the brain. The brain and the kind of the cerebrum and the cerebellum as the higher energy. It's interesting, as soon as I started talking about that, in comes this channel. So that's obviously important, that's a central part of what we're doing today, is working with the cerebellum and the brain. And the cerebellum is a lot to do with these winged beings and angels and that whole paradigm. And also the deep earth energies. So you get, with the angels, there's lower angels, there's the higher angels. And interestingly, I would normally say higher self or creator, but with angels, it seems to be God. God and angels, whatever that means, or goddess, or whatever, it seems to be in that realm. So, but we will be working with this whole area, and also where that relates to in the pelvis, and we'll also be working with the deep earth energies and how those two connect together. And I think what saved me in being able to teach both the angels and what I've been talking about is that both the higher energies and the brain and cerebellum and the lower energies, the emotional energy points for those are in the shoulder blades. Kind of the higher energies are the higher and more inner shoulder blades, and the lower energies are the lower and outside of the shoulder blades. So you have both of those, and that's where the wings come. When you because I don't see angels. I kind of come into a realm where there are that, but I actually am one in that realm. I become that energetically. I become an angel, and I haven't done for years, to be honest. It's not, other than Saturday, it's the first time that's happened for a long time. I've had very, very strong connections to that. One, when my kundalini first went off, or not first, but went off and didn't stop. For about a day, I became an angel in that, but it was just such a strong, almost physical angel. And all my spine was straightening, the energy was pouring through my brain. And it was terrifying. I thought I was going to die because I could feel like I'd become an angel. I thought, I can just fly off now, you know. I could easily just die and fly off wherever angels go to, and no one would know other than I'd been dead. And I really had to hold myself down because I wasn't sure whether it was a nice spiritual thing. It wasn't nice, it was horrible, terrifying spiritual thing was happening to me, or I just completely lost the plot. And I didn't want to die mad. I wanted to somehow process that experience before I left my body, but it was quite something to pull myself back in. So angels, demons, they hang out somewhere in what we're working with today. And people who are used to me, I just natter about what's going on for me, really, and that somehow sets up the energies for what we're doing. So kind of after saying all that, if that's something that's not for you, at least I've been straight and you don't have to stay for the webinar. But we will be moving into that in some level or another. I can't say I'm going to teach you how to channel. I can't say I'm going to teach you how to work with angels or that realm, or how to channel, or any of that. We will be working with the energies of holographic breathing. I've asked that we open up that realm of channeling a bit more, just to feel what it's like, and let that be incorporated in what we're doing. But as one central point that I would really like to include, or am going to include, is the higher energies and the earth energies. And I'll probably include a bit of fire energies as well. This is from the advanced webinars. And in a few weeks' time, I'm going to start a new series of the paid for webinars, where we will be working with the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the arms and legs, and it's the highest circuit we work with in holographic breathing. I don't have the date of when that will start. It may be in 3 or 4 weeks, but we are moving into that realm of things in the coming month anyway. So that is there if people want to advance on this, because the cerebrum, the cerebellum, they are kind of closest to God. That is where it's kind of coming in, and they have that psychic ability, channeling ability, and also the ability for it to be downloaded and transformed through the whole body. And I'm kind of talking a lot about the energies coming in, but there's something very fundamental in that. And we normally work the other way around. We work with the body and the energies until a certain point it ascends into the higher energies, and then the higher energies come down. But once the higher energies and you're channeling, you have to be willing to be aware of what that channeling is bringing to the surface, or what that channeling is clearing. Because if you're not aware of your body, it probably won't work, but it's of absolutely no benefit. For me, it's not like, oh, I'm channeling and oh, I'm going to get enlightened. And for me, that's not how it works. You channel some energy down, and that shines a light on a shed load of stuff that needs to be worked on. And there is the help when we channel. They do give it a place for it to release up into. And there's a payment. It's not really a payment, it's a gift, but it may feel like a payment from where we sit. And we normally live our lives as an individual in our body, in our chakras and whatever. And that doesn't include the reality of the higher self. And when you include the higher self and all of this that goes on upwards from you and of the earth below you, then you're no longer this isolated person. You are no longer an individual. You are part of this much bigger self. And a lot of what is housed in our body, a lot of our old karma, a lot of our injuries, a lot of our patterns are in our bodies and our identity and our mind and ego, because we perceive ourselves as this thing. As soon as you are this bigger thing and no longer this individual, you are this whole, you are part of God or whatever, you are the physical part of the higher self. Then suddenly there's somewhere for that karma to go. If you're just working with this, you just can go round and round. You notice how you work with things over and over and over. And if you contain yourself to this box, then sure, it will do, because there ain't really anywhere for it to go. But if you include the higher self, the beyond, then one, you have access to those higher energies, but also they know how to deal with this karma. That a lot of it we're not even seeing, or don't, well, but nearly all of it we're not seeing. I mean, it's really easy to see other people's patterns. And we don't actually have any ourselves. We're like saints, but all of these other people have these really awkward things about themselves that are kind of hard to be with. We don't have any of those. But it gives it a way of releasing up. And I think at these times, there's a lot of help. I can't really see any way that the earth moves forwards that doesn't include people moving along spiritually, and especially in this being an identity. You know, if you've got a world full of loads of separate people in their identity fighting for their thing, then sure, there's going to be trouble. But if all of those people are suddenly connected to the higher realms, and those higher realms are part of the same thing for everybody, then it completely changes the picture. And not so much out for ourselves. So kind of that is what we're going to be working with today in that realm. And it does feel like there's a lot of help. It does feel like that karma can go home. Just talking about it seems to have created a place where people can release into their higher self. And that can be such a relief when that starts happening. There's all sorts of pent-up energies and sexual energies and different potencies through the body, and when they actually release up, it's quite often we don't even understand the stress we're in, or the anxiety we're in, or the discomfort we're in, until these things start releasing out of us in a way. But that does bring the need to allow yourself, in a way, to be different. And when the mind starts breaking, it can feel like I'm going nutty. Certainly when my kundalini went off, I was very lucky not to stay away. I was very lucky to stay away from hospitals, I can tell you. But that it takes you to a different place, and you have to be courageous to allow that, because it's scary not to be who you think you were, not to be this individual anymore. All right, so now I've said all of that, we're going to learn holographic breathing, and we'll do it with a guided meditation, and we will include part of that in the guided meditation. I will teach it, and then we'll move into, I don't know how or what I'm going to include, but somewhere in that we will do something along those lines, and then hopefully I'll be able to make something up for the second meditation that will take people further into that. So I'm going to describe how to do holographic breathing. And even if you've learned, it's really great to go over these initial steps. In holographic breathing, the lips are closed all of the time. The tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and definitely for people learning, start these initial steps now. Have your lips relaxed and closed. Have your tongue on the roof of the mouth, the tip of the tongue close to or touching the front teeth. So it's the upper surface of the tongue, it's not the tip of the tongue. And as much as the tongue on the roof of the mouth as feels comfortable. And so the breath is through the nose all of the time. Because the lips are closed, the breath is through the nose all of the time. Now there is a movement of the jaw, but I don't want you to do that yet. If you're new to this, I want you to wait for the meditation as I guide you through it, because it can be hard and a little bit painful if you just try and do it, or you're just doing it rather than it happening. So if you're new to it, just at the minute, get used to having the flat of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, the lips relaxed and closed. Then along with that, there's a movement of the jaw. On the in-breath, the jaw is gently opening, and on the out-breath, the jaw is gently closing. And it's a tiny movement. It's about half a finger width, 2 or 3 millimeters. It's not a big movement of the jaw at all. So that is the fundamentals of holographic breathing. The lips are relaxed and closed, the tongue is relaxed and on the roof of the mouth, the breath is through the nose. On the in-breath, the jaw is relaxing open. On the out-breath, the jaw is relaxing closed. Now, I'm going to demonstrate it. You probably won't even, because it's such a small movement, you probably won't even see my lips moving or my jaw moving, but at least you'll be able to see that the lips do stay closed, but also you may discern a different level of energy or something like that happening. So I'll just do 3 or 4 breaths just to give you a visual of it. And very quickly for myself, I just drop into a kind of deeply meditative place. And for me, the kundalini rises up through my brain, and this whole spiritual thing starts happening. But it's different for different people. Now, what I want everyone to do is, because sometimes people learn this and it seems easy enough in the description, but when they start trying to move the jaw with the breath, suddenly they can't do that. So I just want everybody to have your lips closed, the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and just doing small, not with the breath, but just small up-down motions of the jaw, or moving the jaw around with the lips closed, so you get the experience that you're moving the jaw and you can keep the lips closed. So just gentle motions of the jaw and having the lips closed, just to get the experience that that is possible. All right, you can let that come to an end. So as long as you can experience that, you should be able to do that in the meditation. So closing your eyes. If you know holographic breathing, just dropping into holographic breathing. If you don't know holographic breathing, just breathing gently and naturally. This isn't connective breath. This isn't breathing without a pause between your breath. This is normal, relaxed breathing. And there's no specific length to the breath. You're just relaxed. You're just breathing naturally. Okay, the eyes are closed. And sending a smile to the earth. We're going to bring in some resources, sending a smile, sending some energy to the earth, and allowing the earth to say hello back. Notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and the beneficial energies. The beneficial energies are any channels you like to work with, any higher energies you like to work with. And letting the higher self and the beneficial energies say hello back. Letting yourself receive from the higher self and the beneficial energies. Notice what that feels like through your body and energies. Allowing yourself to receive from the earth, and notice what that feels like through your body and energies. And asking the earth, the higher self and the beneficial energies to be with you through the whole webinar as your guide and your healing energy. Okay, now we're going to go through some exercises to start the holographic breathing. So the lips are relaxed and closed. The upper surface of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. If you're new to this, if this is the first time you've done this, it's actually good to be sitting up just to learn it, because it's easy to fall asleep and miss it. So if you are new, it is best to be sitting up to stop yourself falling asleep. So, lips are relaxed and closed. The tongue, the upper surface of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. And then just making some small up-down motions of the jaw, just getting the experience that you can move the jaw and you can have the lips closed and you can have the tongue on the roof of the mouth. It's a bit like chewing. We do that every day. We have our lips closed and we chew our food every day. Making small movements with the jaw just to realize you can do that, and then slowing the movement down, and when you feel ready, as the jaw is opening, the breath is coming in through the nose. As the jaw is closing, letting the breath come out through the nose. So it starts feeling a bit like a bellows. To start off with, we have the emphasis on the jaw just to get it started. So the jaw is gently opening and the breath is coming in through the nose. As you close the jaw, the breath is leaving through your nose, relaxing the back of your neck, relaxing the back of your head, relaxing your whole body. Jaw gently opens. It's just a small movement, 3 or 4 millimeters, half a finger width. The jaw opens, draws the breath in through the nose. Jaw gently closes and the breath leaves through the nose, and the lips stay closed and relaxed all of the time, and the tongue, the upper surface of the tongue, stays on the roof of the mouth all of the time. The jaw gently opening and it draws the breath in through the nose. The whole torso is filling. The jaw gently closing and the breath relaxes out through the nose, relaxing the back of the neck, relaxing the back of the head, relaxing the whole body. Now we're going to change the gestalt. We're going to move the attention from the jaw to the breath and the nose. Being aware of the breath coming in through the nose and the jaw relaxes open. Being aware of the breath leaving through the nose and the jaw relaxes closed. Notice how relaxing it becomes, how it becomes much softer, much more energetic when you bring the awareness to the breath. We need to start with the jaw just so that it's moving, and then bringing the awareness to the breath. So you're breathing in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. The lips stay closed all of the time. The tongue stays on the roof of the mouth. If it's in any way awkward or painful, slow the movement down, make the movement smaller and softer. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. And after a while, it just feels totally natural, as if you've always known this breathing. Now that it's going, we're going to move our awareness a bit away from the jaw and more into the body. As the chest is opening, the jaw is opening with it. As the chest is closing, the jaw is closing with it. This gentle motion of the jaw is aligning with the breath and being moved with the breath. Breathing in, the chest opens, the jaw relaxes open with it. Breathing out, the chest closes, the jaw closes with it. Moving down to the abdomen opens, the jaw relaxes open. As the abdomen closes, the jaw relaxes closed. It just becomes part of the breath. As the teeth are coming together in the out-breath, they just float together. There's no pressure, no grinding, there's no force. They just float together, or they don't touch at all. You can have it so they don't actually touch, as long as the jaw is just relaxed and free. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. And notice in a very subtle way, your face, your cranium, and your brain have started to breathe. It's not just your body breathing anymore. Your whole skull and your brain have started to breathe with the rest of your body. You can feel the breath right down into your pelvis, into your sit bones, opening on the in-breath, closing on the out-breath. You can feel it through every cell in your body. Every cell is aligning with this motion of the breath through your whole body. Every cell is opening on the in-breath, and every cell is closing on the out-breath, including your brain. The brain cells are opening on the in-breath, and the brain cells are closing on the out-breath. Gently breathing. Feeling your shoulder blades opening as you breathe in, closing as you breathe out. So if you want to be a bird, or you want to be an angel, or you want to be a winged being, whatever it is you want to be an angel, you can feel the wings coming out of your shoulder blades. Breathing in, they're opening, you can feel that opening through your shoulder blades. Breathing out, they're closing. Notice how you can get wings extending from your shoulder blades, and how that really opens up through the spine behind your shoulder blades. You may also have this feeling of becoming an angel, or being in a slightly different realm where angels exist. And it may not be a bright white angel as shown in the books. It may be quite a physical, earthly angel, just with energetic wings. But notice if you can feel, if you've got a pair of wings, and this nice movement of the shoulder blades. It always seems to open when I'm feeling this. It's like there's a light up and above from me, and it shines down into the face, into the head, and it shines into the heart, back through the lungs, back into the wings. So you can feel yourself as this divine winged being, this lovely light shining into you, and somehow this light is operating your wings. You get a really nice movement in your wings with the breath, with holographic breathing. Notice how the movement in holographic breathing has become just natural and easy. And allowing yourself to channel, allowing yourself to receive higher beneficial energies in whatever form that may come. It's good to allow that through your brain, down through your spine, down into your pelvis, down to your legs and down your arms. Just channeling a higher beneficial energy. And if you've got wings, that's great. You can be an angel, and if you haven't got wings, you can just be still an angel without wings, just receiving this divine light and being in this realm of divine light with the gods. To channel, you have to let go of the throat. Letting the throat chakra release, let the thyroid release, let the thymus gland release. And let this energy channel on through you, through the face, through the brain, and down through the whole body, right into the pelvis, right into the floor of the pelvis, right down into the legs, right down into the earth. And the emotional content is through the chest, the heart, the shoulder blades, and the wings. If you have wings, the emotional content is in the wings. Notice how with holographic breathing you can flap and stretch your wings. And angels also have a pelvis and an abdomen, feeling right down into your deeper, darker energies of the pelvis. Don't think you have to stay as a bright light angel. As you drop down into the pelvis, as you drop down into the sexual energies, you might feel this much darker potency, and you may become a darker angel. And not to run from that experience, or if you're not an angel, that's fine, whatever you are, Just allow that darkness of the sexual energies of the pelvis of the earth. This is your potency. Allowing this to rise up through you. You'll feel the light for a while, but after a while of that, you start feeling its complement, the other side, these deep, rich, sexual earth energies from the pelvis and legs, letting these rise up through your spine, through your center line. These will earth you. These will give you somewhere for that divine energy to arrive into. Especially between the shoulder blades, letting that give between the shoulder blades, letting that release from your pelvis, from your pelvic floor, up through your body, up through your brain, through your head, then out through the top of your head, this column of energy rising up through the top of your head. You don't have to go up with it, but you can see this energy rising out through the top of your head and traveling up through the divine realms, through the angelic realms, through the gods, through the higher reaches, through that we can't see or comprehend. And even though we can't comprehend it, we can allow these deep, rich energies to rise up and transform and move up through that central pillar of energy into the divine realms. And we can let the divine realms touch us. Let that melt through your spine. Let that melt through your shoulder blades. Let that melt through your whole body. Breathing gently with the holographic breathing, letting that energy stream through you. Notice you're not who you were before. Notice once your energy is connecting or rising into the divine realms, and the divine realms are moving into you. You are no longer the being. You are no longer what you identified with before. You're much bigger. You're part of the whole. Gently breathing, feeling that divine column rising out of your head and being received back through your head. If you're doing, some people are moving around a lot, try to relax. Try to just let it go through. You don't have to do lots of unraveling with this. It's better to be still and just channel it through you. Let your spine relax. Let that higher energy melt through you. And after a while, you let it go the other way. You let the deeper, richer energies in yourself rise up through your body, transforming through your body. And the shoulder blades are a big part of this. They are the part of the emotional center for the body, and it has to go through the emotions. So whether you've got wings or not, you let your shoulder blades relax. They're a big part of this connection between the lower and higher energies. Let it transform through the shoulder blades as that central pillar. And as it does, you'll feel the emotional qualities of your chest, of your lungs, of your heart, of your thymus starting to release. And you don't have to roll round and round these emotions. You can just let them transcend through the mind, through the central column, and up into the beyond. Let your shoulder blades go, let your chest go, let your heart and lungs go. Now notice how it releases to the throat. To channel, you have to let go. A lot of control in the throat. Let go of the thymus gland, the thyroid gland, the whole throat and neck. And then it will go through your brain. And there's a lot of control in the brain. You have to let go of who you consider to be yourself. You have to let go of the brain, the intellect, the mind. Doesn't mean it will go away, you're just not it. And the energy burns across the top of the head and then out, releasing up into the higher self. Notice the relief as all of this pent-up energy starts releasing out of you. This energy is not for you. This energy is not to circulate in your body. This energy we're working with is for the gods. It's for the higher beings. It's for the divine. This becomes food for the gods in the same way as the divine energies falling become food for us. These deeper, rich, they may be earth energies, they may be lower energies from our body, maybe old karma from past lives is just letting go. You can let that stuff go. You can let it rise through you. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go through the mind. Let it go through the top of the head and then just release out into the higher self. You don't have to work it out. You don't have to resolve it. You don't have to go round and round in circles with it. You just have to be willing to feel its quality and let it go, especially through the head, especially through the brain, the intellect. You have to let go of the controls. And then you have to let go of the top of the head. This is where you move into transcendence. This is like allowing yourself to die. And then it releases up into the beyond. And as it does that, as the top of the head releases, you may feel the genitalia releasing and the pelvic floor, because unless it's releasing into the beyond, there's no real place for the kundalini to go. But as soon as the crown chakra opens, then there is somewhere for the kundalini to travel from. You cannot contain the kundalini in the body. The kundalini is for the gods. And it's a huge relief to let that energy release through your spine, through your center line, through the top of your head, to the gods. Give it to the gods. They know what to do with this energy. They will balance your kundalini. Gently breathing, letting the shoulder blades release, letting the lungs release, letting the heart and abdomen release. These will contain all sorts of feelings, and all you have to do is allow yourself to be aware of them. That is all. No more, no less. Feeling yourself connected through your sit bones and your heels. Okay. We're going to come back in about a minute. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing. Letting that settle down. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. For people new to this, I run these free webinars, but I also run more advanced webinars where we work with the internal energies. The one that's running at the minute is the fire circuit, where we work with the uterus, the prostate, the ovaries and testes, which I call the chalice and seed. It also includes the hara, the heart, the small intestines. But these are strong webinars, and we look deeply into the different circuitry that opens through the whole body with holographic breathing, and how that connects up into the higher self. They're more potent in a way when we just are aware of a circuit and that connecting up and connecting back down. And I will be starting one, as I said, working with the brain, the cerebellum, the arms and legs, which is a strong circuit, and obviously a lot to do with channeling. It's coincided with this channeling free webinars, and because the brain is obviously to do with channeling, it's where it's coming down through. You've got the crown chakra, the third eye. we did everything I was going to do in that first meditation. Normally I just teach holographic breathing, and then we do a second meditation and we go into the subject matter. But as soon as we started, I couldn't really stop, so I just went with it. I think we will work a bit more precisely with the lower energies and the brain, and I'll give a few of the kind of energy points to activate these. When we actually work with these different circuits, there's different energy points for the pelvis, the torso, the face, the cranium, the spine, the arms and legs. But a few for the deep earth energies, which are really strong. It's the liver, it's the pancreas, these heavy organs, strong, deep energies. And one is the sit bones, and the heels of the feet and the heels of the hands. This connects you into that gravity and deep earth energies. It's also the lower shoulder blades and the outsides of the shoulder blades. It's the lower back of the head and the lower back of the jaw. You don't have to remember any of this because I will mention it in the meditation we're going to do. And for the higher energies, what you've got, here's the pelvis. For the pelvis, you see you've got the sacrum there. It's mainly this lower part of the sacrum, and also the sacrum. This is a pelvis. There we go. The sacrum is the bone at the back. A lot of this lower part of the sacrum is to do with the higher energies, and also the top through here. The more middle of it is actually the deep earth energies here, but the top and bottom are the higher energies. And then it's the top and inside face of the shoulder blades, and it's the top of the head. In the face, it's the eyes. And I think we'll just move back and forth a bit between those lower and higher energies. And I'll also, because when we work with those two, quite often it can start releasing in this area, in these lower lumbar vertebrae. And a good way of releasing that or balancing that, the pubic arch, which is part of the fire energy, the points for the fire energy circuits, that will quite often balance forwards and back through the pelvis. So we may bring that in. As I say, we go into this in much more detail, and we work in depth. Every organ in these circuits is a channel by itself and a part of our reality, and has all the levels through the hara, the heart, the throat, the face, the intellect, and up into the higher self. Every organ channels the divine. So each organ is like a reality unto itself and part of a whole reality. And we work with 24 different organs. Each organ relates to a vertebrae and relates into the kundalini. You can clear the whole bardo, past lives, everything. It's a powerful and deep secret is the word that's coming to my mind. Secret, except that now I'm teaching it to everyone. Used to be secret except for people who come to the advanced webinars. I did used to learn a thing very similar to this called Tibetan pulsing, and very, very powerful. A lot of the points are similar, a lot of the organs are similar, but it seems to have opened up much further with holographic breathing. Plus, the holographic breathing relates to a lot of things, but also it comes through in a way that doesn't completely blow people's brains out. It comes through in a way that it's possible to be with and assimilate. And Dhiraj, who brought through Tibetan pulsing, could be with it and assimilate it and was an energy phenomenon, but a lot of people just got their brains blown out, including me. And so it's come through. There's lots of different areas, and I've found lots of new points and different things with the organs. So that is part of that, and that is what we teach in or what I teach. See, I have gone mad. I've started calling myself we. Always beware of teachers that call themselves we. There's something out of The Hobbit with that, I think. So we will work with the sit bones, the sacrum, the shoulder blades, and get a little bit of a distinction between the higher and lower energies. And that is definitely, I mean, I can feel it as soon as I start talking about Tibetan pulsing. I don't know that is Dhiraj, the guy who brought Tibetan pulsing in, probably is to a certain extent. But I think it's a whole conglomerate of the people he was channeling as well, and just a connection into the light. But there's so many channels in holographic breathing, because there's also the movement that opens up in holographic breathing, which is pretty well exactly the same as I've forgotten the name of it. I am one, I should know. Craniosacral therapy. The movement of the breath in holographic breathing opens up through the body in the same way as in craniosacral therapy. Plus, I was describing the different energies to a very well-known Ayurvedic acupuncturist. He said, "Oh, you're teaching Ayurvedic medicine." So it's also very similar to that. But anyway, there definitely this spiritual qualities coming in, and in a very general way we're going to work with a couple of those energies now. And do come to the advanced webinars. All right, so we're going to do that. Closing your eyes. And yeah, well, make yourself ready first. Make yourself ready. And gently breathing with the holographic breathing. And feeling the motion of the breath through your whole body. Feeling the sideways motion. There's not just an up-down motion through the body. On the in-breath, the jaw is gently opening out to the sides. And on the out-breath, the body is closing immediately. So it's opening out to the sides on the in-breath, closing immediately through the face, through the jaw, feeling the cranium opening to the sides, closing. The torso opening to the sides, closing. The abdomen opening to the sides, closing. The pelvis opening to the sides and closing. So there's this sideways expansion through every cell on the in-breath, and this narrowing of every cell on the out-breath. And dropping into the back of the jaw, the lower back of the jaw. Notice how it feels darker. You drop into the lower back of the jaw. Dropping into the lower back of the head, opening on the in-breath, closing on the out-breath. Notice how feels darker and cooler. Dropping down into the lower shoulder blades. Dropping down into the back of the sacrum and the sit bones. Really get a nice sitting down into your sit bones. Notice it's dark, but it's deeply healing. This darkness is a channel, no less healing than the bright light channels. This darkness will give you health, strength, will build your immune system, will build your bones, will give you physicality. No point in just going for the light unless you actually want to die. Unless you want to leave your body. If you want to stay in your body and you want to be healthy, then you need to contact energies that are going to keep you in your body and make you healthy. And the deep, rich, earth, potent energies. They will ground you. They will give you health. They will mark your territory. The heels of the hands and the heels of the feet. Okay, we're not going to go directly into the higher energies. We're first going to go into the fire energies. So we're not going to go higher, we're going to go fire to start off with. Moving forwards from your sit bones into your pubic arch. Just slowly feel this warmth through your chest as you come forwards into the pubic arch, as it activates your heart and you move from this deep, rich energy to this fire. Moving forwards from the back of the jaw into more the chin area, and this fire lights up. Moving from the back of the cranium to the front of the cranium between the face and cranium. There's this fire energy there. Feeling that fire quality. In the pelvis, notice how that relates to your chalice and seed. And feel this warmth and fire starts moving through your body. Notice how you've moved forwards in your body and your heart has become activated. And your blood has become activated. And sit down into the pubic arch and into the perineum. The perineum is part of the fire circle. And as you drop into the perineum, you can feel your chalice, the uterus and prostate. You can feel your seed, the ovaries and testes. And then dropping back again into the sit bones, into the back of the jaw, into the back of the cranium, into the lower shoulder blades. Notice how that fire is going out, and you move back into this deep, rich, strong, all-pervading earth. And a gravity. You can feel yourself being pulled to the center of the earth. Really feel a pull down in those lower and outside of the shoulder blades. And rising up from the sit bones into the lower sacrum. Notice how there's a bright light that releases up through your brain. Kundalini suddenly reaches up from the lower sacrum, up through your spine, up into the brain. And then the top of the sacrum, where it's joining the spine and the upper wings of the pelvis, much brighter, lighter energy. Feel that releasing up through your brain and through your eyes. Notice how everything is getting much brighter and whiter. And the top and inside face of the shoulder blades, feel that flashing in your eyes as the top of the shoulder blades light up. Top of the spine, just back at the very lowest part of the cranium at the back, where the top of the spine is, get a flashing through your brain, and it's the top and back of the head and the eyes, and you've got this bright white light going off. It activates the brain, the cerebellum. You can feel this spiraling energy releasing up from here, up into the higher self, the brain reaching up into the higher self. It's the highest circuit. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing. Also feel the shoulder joints and the hip joints and the arms and legs. The arms and legs ground this energy. Arms and legs ground the higher energy. Moving from here down towards the front of the cranium, between the cranium and the face, down to the chin, down to the pubic arch. You feel the fire and the heart. Also, it really feels that's opening through just the very top of the chest, at the top of the sternum. That seems to be opening up through the top of the sternum in people, the thymus and the thyroid. And right down into the pubic arch, the pubic arch, feeling your chalice and seed. And then back to the sit bones in this deep, rich, dark earth. Lower back of the head, the lower back of the jaw, lower shoulder blades. You move to this rich, deep earth. Let your throat relax. Let the back of your throat, let your lower back of your neck relax. A lot wants to release in people's throat. Let the throat and the neck relax. Sit down, lower, deep, rich energy, the lower energies. Just feeling that through your whole spine. Notice how that's energized your spine. Started the kundalini in your spine. Notice how that's brought an awareness to your spine. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing. And when you feel ready, oh no, not when you feel ready, sending a thank you to the earth, and sending a thank you to the higher self and beneficial energies. And thanking yourself for participating. And sending the energies off for love and healing to the earth. For love and healing to the higher self and beneficial energies. And allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And letting the energies go out to all sentient beings for love and healing. And you are a sentient being, allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. So that was a kind of taster in a way. What we do is we spend 4 webinars just being with one circuit. We're halfway through the fire circuit at the minute. And the webinars aren't expensive. It's £29 for 4 webinars. You can still join the fire circuit webinars. We've done 2 and we've got 2 left to do, but you can join and you'll get the recordings of the previous 2. And we work with the organs. It gets much more potent, much more in depth, and we spend a whole webinar just unraveling the energies of a particular organ. We include all 4 organs and the whole circuits, but each webinar we go through a different organ, really get it working, come to understand its energies, its reality, how it moves through us, how it connects to the higher self. So you can join the fire circuit if you wish. The brain circuit, I'm not sure of the date, in 3 or 4 weeks' time we'll be starting the brain circuit. And there's 6 different circuits we work with. We work with the deep earth energies, we work with the fire energies, then there's the yellow energies, which is more the stomach, the spleen, the throat and the tongue. We work with the lung energies, which again is another 4 organs and different energy points through the face, the cranium, the brain, the spine, the whole body. The blue energies, which is more the kind of the sides of the face, and it's the kidneys, the adrenals, the bladder, the penis, vagina, and they all have an organ or place in the pelvis where that kundalini can rise from, rise up through the body and heal through the body. And once you open those sexual organs, those organs in the pelvis, the different centers in the pelvis, then you have something to talk to the higher self with. Once those potencies in the pelvis are activated, then you have a strong energy that can stream through the brain, and you've got a decent energy that fires strongly up into the higher self. So this deeply transformed your karma like nothing else that I know of. Holographic breathing isn't like any other breath work, not that I know of anyway. Very specific thing happens in holographic breathing. The channel came through in a very particular way, and there's something specific to teach here. We're not just messing around with different things. There's a whole kind of curriculum and spiritual evolution, if people want that. And there's ongoing webinars where I'm teaching that. And I'm not a master, I'm learning at the same time. You know, the people who've been coming a while can verify that. Quite often I don't know. Like today, I didn't know what we was going to teach at the beginning, but it opened up into that, what we did teach. And I did manage to get everything that I wanted to teach into it. I didn't know how that was going to be possible when we started, but it did come about. So I'm evolving with everybody else. But that is there to be had if you want it. And I'm only going to be here so long. I am the person who's brought through hologram. Maybe someone else was doing it before, but I've never heard of it or heard of someone teaching holographic breathing. Certainly heard of people doing Tibetan pulsing, which is similar to the energies, but actually with the holographic breathing, from what I can see, it's only just coming through. And I'm going to die at some point. I'm not going to be here forever. So you might as well get it at its source. I'm recording everything so that, you know, I am aware that I will die, and with this I want to make sure that all of the different areas are recording, so that when I do pass, it doesn't end with me, it can go on, and they will probably be made free when I die. But you know, that's what got me with Osho. I was a sannyasin with Osho, and in the 70s. And I saw that, I really loved his meditation. I thought, I love the meditation, I love the people, I love all of the hugging, but there's no way I'm going to go around wearing orange and a mala. And I saw this poster of his, and he just said, I don't know what he said, I'm just like a traveller walking down the beach picking up shells, and one day I'm going to be gone. You might as well get it while I'm here. So I took sannyas, got brainwashed, never been the same since. But it was a beautiful time, that's all I can say. So anyway, I've got that most Saturdays. I'm just not sure of the ones coming up next, but that's all there.